That slow, arduous flip of the calendar, moving from August to September, seems to carry with it more weight than simply the next month of a given year. Maybe it's because a couple of the members of my family are teachers, but it seems more than the usual slide from one month to another. September marks the unofficial start to a year as we move away from the less hurried months of the summer into the time of back to school, back to work, back to church, back to sports, back to the things that usually fill our days and weeks. September feels like the start of all this and the edge of the fall season, getting ourselves back in gear. In the church, with the flip of the calendar, we are also entering into the season of creation, a time set aside to pay attention to the world in which we live, to pay attention to ecosystems, to wildlife, to plant life, to pay attention to beauty and wonder, and to give thanks for all that we see around us. It's a good time to recognize our relationship to the Creator and what the Creator hopes and invites us to be. It is a time to give thanks, as well as to acknowledge that we human beings have made a mess of too many parts of this planet and need to get back to caring rather than abusing. With the wildfires, water shortages, increasingly warmer temperatures, warming oceans, more intense storms, many other rare climate events taking place with such frequency, one might think that we would be motivated to change our ways and seek new ways to walk on this planet. You would think. But shifting away from our relationship with carbon and profits and trying to control is a difficult step for us to take. A year ago, Archbishop Justin Welby said this: "Living as one human family, I pray that we will hear clearly the voices of those suffering on the brutal front line of climate change and climate injustice. I pray that together we will listen to young people and Indigenous peoples." He said the climate emergency is an existential global threat that requires a global response, with radical action, imagination, and justice. He said, "Let us together see justice done so that countries can access new and fair finance for the loss and damage caused by climate change." God calls us to embrace justice. He said, "Let justice flow so that we see human lives and hope restored, and the life of the earth itself protected and renewed." In the middle of September, September 14th to be exact, is Holy Cross Day, a day on our church's calendar that is set aside to focus on the cross of Christ at a time separate from Holy Week and Easter. It helps us bring into focus that the cross is central to Christian faith. The cross, the empty cross, is a symbol of all that we believe about God. It celebrates God's love, God's grace, forgiveness, hope, transformation, new life, new possibility, new vision, new calling to live into the gospel of Jesus Christ. All this and a few things besides. This cross of Jesus Christ draws our fullest attention as Christians. It reminds us of who we are called to be as a result of the resurrection. People who are changed, to focus our lives on loving God and loving our neighbor as ourselves. We strive to hold on to this image each day. As we consider the devastating effects of climate change that we are seeing firsthand here in British Columbia, with fires destroying so many forests, homes, and habitat, as we consider the depletion of fish stocks, the extinction of species, the potential for more flooding, as we consider the minimal effort our country and numerous others are putting behind the reduction of carbon emissions, as we consider this beautiful planet that we continue to pollute, destroy, plunder, and plague, we as Christians cannot simply ignore. The world is crying out. The creation is calling for attention. The earth is changing far too fast. Our faith in God as Creator and Jesus as Redeemer and the Holy Spirit as Sanctifier, our faith in the cross of Christ, calls us to see this world and all that is in it as beloved. Recently, I had the opportunity to visit the Kanaka Band located in the Fraser Canyon to see how, as Indigenous people, they live into caring for this world. I was witness to how they seek to be self-sustaining by conservation of land, protecting water sources, caring for the rivers and the creatures found therein, growing more food, generating electricity using alternative forms of energy production, and a host of other things. They are a shining example of staying focused on what is sustainable and possible. They are a sign of hope, staying focused on what is most important. And that is what our faith in the God of love is asking of us as well. To stay focused, to seek a new vision that goes beyond what we usually do, to see that there is more, there is a greater calling, there is a much bigger purpose, and it is centered on recognizing God with us, God amongst us, even in the chaos and the complication we see in the world around us. Jan Richardson wrote a poem entitled "Blessing for Waking Here." This is a portion of it. This blessing could pound on your door in the middle of the night. This blessing could bang on your window, could tap dance in your hall, could set a dog loose in your room. It could hire a brass band to play outside your house. But what this blessing really wants is not merely your waking, but your company. This blessing wants to sit alongside you and keep vigil with you. This blessing wishes to wait with you. And so, though it is capable of causing a cacophony that could raise the dead, this blessing will simply lean toward you and sing quietly in your ear a song to lull you not into sleep, but into waking. It will tell you stories that hold you breathless till the end. It will ask you questions you never considered and have you tell it what you saw in your dreaming. This blessing will do all within its power to entice you into awareness. May you know this awareness of God's mysterious presence in your soul and in your living in this time of September, of Holy Cross, of returning to routines, of this season of creation. May you know this awareness, and may it transform your life.